Hunting for Kids by Tyler O'Muth. Chapter 1, Bagging a Duck. It's a wet, chilly October morning. You're crouched near the water's edge. In the distance, you hear the faint sounds of ducks on the wing. You blow into your duck call, issuing a greeting call. Then you see 5 mallards gliding toward your decoys. You silently raise your gun to your shoulder. The ducks come in for a landing. Bang! A mallard hits the water with a splash. You've bagged your first duck of the season. History. Before European settlers came to North America, American Indians hunted ducks for food. At that time, there were hundreds of millions of ducks. When European settlers arrived, they began hunting ducks to sell for profit. Without laws, hunters took all the birds they could shoot. By the late 1800s, market hunting had caused duck numbers to drop dramatically in North America. In the early 1900s, market hunting became illegal, and duck populations began to rise. But disaster struck when a drought began drying up U.S. wetlands. By 1930, the drought had almost destroyed duck populations nationwide. To increase the populations, the U.S. government passed the Migratory Bird Hunting Stamp Act of 1934. This law required duck hunters to buy a duck stamp. Money raised from the stamps was used to buy and protect wetlands. These protected wetlands helped increase duck populations. This book's got a bunch of fun facts in it. This is our first one. A duck disaster occurred on December 25th, 1947. Because of strong currents and heavy fog, nearly 1,000 unsuspecting ducks were swept over Niagara Falls. Today, few people hunt ducks for profit. The sport of duck hunting is alive and well, thanks to hunting regulations and conservation efforts. More than 45 million ducks live in North America. Hunters are able to enjoy one of their favorite pastimes each season. Duck species. North America has at least 36 species of ducks. These species are divided into dabbling and diving ducks. Dabbling ducks are also called puddle ducks. They like shallow waters such as ponds, rivers, and small lakes. Shallow water allows them to reach their food by dipping their heads underwater. Mallards and wood ducks are common dabbling ducks. Diving ducks catch their food by diving underwater. They usually like large lakes and even oceans. Redheads, canvasbacks, and harlequins are diving ducks. We got a bunch of ducks here for you to see. And another fun fact. The long-tailed duck is one of the best divers of all. It can dive more than 200 feet deep. Chapter 2, Duck Hunting Gear. Being prepared is key for a successful hunt. That means having the right hunting gear, choosing the right gun, clothing, and duck call will help you bag your limit of ducks. Shotguns and shells. A gun is a hunter's most important tool. Choose one that is comfortable for you. Shotguns are used for duck hunting because they use birdshot. Birdshot shells are packed with small beads that spread out as they fly through the air. The spreading shot makes it easier to hit moving targets and does less damage to the bird. Most duck hunters use either 12-gauge or 20-gauge shotguns. Young hunters may want to start with a 20-gauge shotgun. The shotgun is smaller, so it's easier to carry and fire. It also has less recoil, which means it won't kick back as hard when you fire it. Choosing the right shotgun shells is also important to bagging a duck. Federal law requires hunters to use steel birdshot when hunting ducks and other wetland birds. Small size 6-shot is a good choice for small ducks at close range. Larger size 2 and 3-shot works better for larger ducks and long range shots. Hunting clothing. Ducks have very good eyesight. If they spot you tucked into the reeds along the edge of the lake, they may not land. Camouflage clothing is a must for hunting ducks. When choosing jackets, hats, gloves, and face masks, look for a camouflage pattern that matches your hunting area. If the plant life is still green, you'll want a green-based camo pattern. Brown works better later in the season. Some hunting clothes are reversible so they can work for different surroundings. Duck hunters also hunt in or around wetlands. They often need to wade through water. It pays to have a good pair of chest waders. Neoprene waders will help keep you warm and dry as you walk through wetlands. And we have another fact already. Ducks can see almost everything above, below, in front, and behind them all at once. They can also focus on near and distant objects at the same time. I want their vision. Duck calls. Two main types of duck calls are double reed and single reed. The double reed call is the best choice for beginning hunters. Blowing through the call's two reeds is easy to do and makes the raspy sound hens make. The single reed takes a lot more practice, but it also makes a wider variety of duck sounds. Duck hunters try to make the right sound for each hunting situation. The basic quack is your first call you should learn. This single note with a crisp ending is an easy way to lure in ducks. Hunters also bring in ducks with a greeting call. This short burst of 5 to 7 notes and in an even rhythm gets lower with each note. If ducks don't come to a greeting call, a comeback call is a good choice. This call is a louder series of 5 to 7 notes that gets faster. Sometimes this call will get birds that have passed you to turn around. Hunting dogs. Duck hunters often rely on Labrador and Golden Retrievers to bring in ducks. Labrador Retrievers are large, strong dogs with a natural instinct to retrieve. On the hunt, they don't mind diving into icy water to bring in a duck. Golden Retrievers are slightly smaller than Labs. They love swimming and have waterproof coats that makes them excellent duck hunting dogs. Chapter 3, Tips and Techniques. A very successful hunt starts with a good plan. Plan your hunting strategy according to the season and whether you're hunting from land or water. Seasons. Duck hunting season usually match up with migration. During this time, ducks fly from colder areas to warmer areas to find their winter homes. Each state has its own hunting season and regulations, but as a general rule, duck hunting season starts in the fall and lasts into the early winter. Most states have seasons or weekends during which young hunters can hunt with an adult. These times are great opportunities for younger hunters to bag a few ducks without a lot of competition from other hunters. Blinds. Using a duck blind is one of the best ways to stay hidden on a hunt. Land blinds should be close to the water and tucked into reeds or tall grass. Because ducks land while flying into the wind, set up the duck blind with your back to the wind. Some hunters attach blinds to the top of their boats. Boat blinds blend in with shoreline grasses and keep you hidden right on the water. A boat also allows you to retrieve any ducks you shoot over the water. Decoys. Decoy hunting is a good technique for drawing ducks into lakes and ponds with room to land. The key to decoy hunting is making your spread of decoys look real. Place a mix of duck types such as mallards, ringnecks, and drakes in an open area of water. Be sure your decoys face different directions. Doing so will make them look more natural. Also, consider using decoys with bobbing heads and flapping wings. Shooting techniques. Duck hunters use jump shooting or pass shooting techniques. Jump shooting uses the element of surprise to jump shoot. You sneak up on ducks sitting on a pond or lake. The goal is to get as close as possible before the ducks see you. Once they take flight, you'll be close enough to take a shot. For pass shooting, you wait for the ducks to come to you. Start by setting up your blind in an area where you've seen ducks fly by in the past. As the ducks fly over on their usual flight pattern, you take your shot. But for pass shooting to work, you have to be patient. Shooting at birds out of range is called sky bursting. Sky bursting leads to wasted shot and injured birds. Practice your shooting skills by target shooting or trap shooting before a hunt. That way you'll know the best distance for taking a shot. I've got another fun fact here. Most ducks fly about 50 miles per hour, but a red-breasted merganser has been recorded flying 100 miles per hour. Chapter 4, Safety. Safety should be considered every time you hunt. Duck hunting is no exception because it is usually done near water and involves guns. A few simple safety rules must always be followed. General safety. Duck hunters should follow a few basic safety precautions every time they hunt. Before you set out, pack a basic survival kit. It can include a cell phone, water, rope, first aid supplies, a knife, and a waterproof fire starting kit. Also, tell someone where and how long you plan to hunt. Gun safety. No matter where or how you hunt, gun safety is always important. During a hunt, be sure to keep the gun barrel pointed away from yourself or other hunters. Be sure to keep the safety switch on until you're ready to fire at ducks. Before you shoot, consider what is behind your target. You don't want to fire at other hunters or buildings accidentally. When hunting in groups, be sure everyone is either standing or sitting. Otherwise, seated hunters could hit other hunters standing in front of them. We had another fun fact we're going to break in here on. In the United States, more than 12 million people hunt wild game each year. More than 2 million of those people hunt ducks and other migratory birds. Boat safety. Hunting on the water requires a few extra safety precautions. As you pack your boat, avoid overloading it with gear or people. An overloaded boat can easily tip over on choppy water. When you're on the water, always wear a life jacket. Be sure to shoot from a seated position as well. This way the gun's recoil won't knock you over the side of the boat. Chapter 5, Conservation. Duck hunting is a traditional sport that many families pass from one generation to the next. For this sport to continue, both hunters and organizations must work to preserve wetlands and duck populations. Hunting conservation. Ducks need wetlands for food, nesting, and raising their young. When hunting, always leave the area just as you found it. Don't litter or change the area any more than necessary. Keeping wetlands as natural as possible will encourage ducks to return every year. Protecting duck populations also requires you to hunt responsibly. That means never taking more than your legal limit of ducks. Also, don't shoot at ducks that are out of range. You may wound them or hurt their chances to survive. Organizations. Some organizations work to protect wetlands and duck populations across North America. Ducks Unlimited is one of the largest conservation groups in the United States. It started raising money to preserve wetlands in 1937. Since then, Ducks Unlimited has improved or preserved more than 70 million acres of wetlands in North America. The Delta Waterfowl Foundation also focuses on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Started in 1911, Delta Waterfowl raises money for the research of waterfowl populations. The organization also places hen houses in wetlands to give ducks safe places to nest. Duck Stamp. The federal duck stamp program is one way that the U.S. government raises money to buy and protect waterfowl wetlands. Each fall, the program holds an art contest to design the next year's stamp. Hunters must buy the stamp along with their license, but some people buy the artistic stamp purely as a donation or to keep as a collector's item. In 1989, the Federal Junior Duck Stamp Conservation and Design Program began. In 1993, this program began issuing junior stamps to encourage younger hunters to help conservation efforts. That's Duck Hunting for Kids by Tyler O. Muth. Other books by this author include Bow Hunting for Kids, Camping for Kids, Deer Hunting for Kids, Duck Hunting for Kids, that one's right here, Freshwater Fishing for Kids, and Turkey Hunting for Kids. Take care.